law, otherwise known as Adabarim, and these be the words. And we have looked at the first 12 divisions of this very powerful and wonderful book, Adabarim. And in every chapter, every division that we have read, there is an admonition in every one. What is the admonition that we read in every chapter that we have seen so far? In the book Adabarim, these be the words. What admonition do we see in every single chapter, which we're going to see tonight in chapter 13? What admonition is it that we see? Can you tell me? What have we seen in every chapter that he puts in there? And he's going to put it in this one too. That's right, to keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgments. He repeats this over and over and over and over again. And it is quite obvious that he demands of his people that they are obedient to his commandments. Why? As we have studied in his word, he regards his word above everything. Even though our fathers saw him in the wilderness, they saw the cloud, they saw the miracles that were done in the Red Sea and in Egypt as they were delivered, and they saw many things in the 40 years of their journey into the promised land. The thing that he regarded the highest was his word, that they keep his word. His commandments are his word. And today, we don't see him in the cloud like that, or parting the Red Sea like that, or walking on water. We don't see him doing these things. But he has left us and given us access to his word. And those that would be his would be as his nation of Israel, obedient to his word. And here in chapter 13, there is a bit of a parallel between what we read here and what will take place with regard to the mark of the beast. Most people don't see these things because there is much confusion with regard to the mark of the beast, much confusion. And we're going to study Revelation, as we said later. After we finish this book of the law, we will go into the book of Revelation by the grace of the Most High Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai. But I like to touch base on Revelation as often as possible because, as I said, the prophets and the law and the Psalms are what the book of Revelation is about. I mean, it's called the book of the Messiah, Yahweh Shai, but everything in that book is from the prophets and from the law and from the Psalm. And so as we look at Revelation 13, before we do that, I want to look at a mark. We've heard about the mark of the beast. And you say, I know some people say, well, I thought we were looking at Deuteronomy 13. Well, we are. And I'm going to bring us back to this Deuteronomy 13. But first, I want to look at marks. The Most High was the first to talk about a mark upon people. And we first read this in Ezekiel chapter 9. Ezekiel chapter 9. We read about a mark. Notice Ezekiel chapter 9. And the problem with most people that are trying to decipher the book of Revelation is they don't read the prophets or the Psalms or the Torah. They don't read it in depth. They don't prayerfully study it. They don't spend much time in it. And Ezekiel, the prophet Ezekiel, is very, very, very prophetic. I mean, they're all prophetic. That's kind of silly, isn't it? But they're all prophetic. But Ezekiel has some things in there that will really open up what's happening in 2017 and beyond. But most people don't really study it that closely to know. But let's look at Ezekiel chapter 9. Now, in Ezekiel, prior to chapter 9, Ezekiel's being shown the iniquities and abominations that have been taking place in the land of Israel. See, brothers and sisters, I just want to reiterate what we have said many times. The book of Deuteronomy is a conversation between the Most High and the nation of Israel, the Israelite people, the children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The intercessor of that conversation is Moses. But it is a conversation between the Most High and his chosen people. Now, let me take it a step further. All the prophets in the Bible are talking to the nation of Israel. I want to make sure you all hear me. Testing 1, 2, 3. All the prophets in the Bible, especially you're talking about the Old Testament prophets, they're talking to the nation of Israel. And we also know from the scriptures that as a result of the sins of our fathers, I say our fathers, because we're all of the nation of Israel. If we're followers of the word of the Bible and the truth of the Most High, we're part of the nation of Israel. And those people, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, are our fathers. They're not everybody's fathers, but they're the fathers of those that are under the bond of the covenant of Yah, which we are. And as part of the nation of Israel, it is our fathers that sinned against the Most High and caused us to be in the positions we're in today. Our fathers did that. They disobeyed, not 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, but centuries of disobedience. Centuries of disobedience. And to add to that, it was our fathers that went along with the rejection of the Messiah, Yahushua. Our fathers did that. Okay? Prior to that, the Most High, in faithfulness, sent many prophets to our fathers. The words of the prophets that we're going to read and that are in the Bible have two applications which we have to understand. There's, like, for example, when we look at the prophet Jeremiah, Jeremiah did much prophesying against a kingdom of Babylon. He did much prophesying with regard to the kingdom of Babylon. There was a kingdom of Babylon that was a nation at the time of Jeremiah. But his prophecies stretch further than the time of that nation. They stretch all the way to our day, which principle we're bringing out here is the prophets that we're reading in the Bible are not just history. The prophecies reach to the end where we are. So when we're looking at Ezekiel, we can see things that happened at Ezekiel's time, and we can see things that are happening in our time, because the book of Revelation teaches us that the Most High teaches us about 3 time periods, right? 3 time periods he teaches us in the book of Revelation. Can you tell me the 3 time periods? Those of us that have been involved with these studies, he teaches us about the past, that's correct. He teaches us about the present, that's correct. And he teaches us about the future. Because at every time, every day that you and I live, there's some prophecy being fulfilled. Every day that you and I live, there's prophecies that have been fulfilled in the past. And every day that you and I live, there's something to happen in the future. And in fact, all the prophets are the same with regard to that. So let's look at Ezekiel chapter 9, and we're talking about a mark. Ezekiel chapter 9. I'm going to begin at verse 1, and I'm going to go down to verse let's see, to verse 6. From verse 1 to verse 6. Let us read carefully. And he cried also in mine ears with a loud voice, saying, cause them that have charge over the city to draw near, even every man with his destroying weapon in his hand. And behold, 6 men came from the way of the higher gate, which lieth toward the north, and every man a slaughter weapon in his hand. And one man among them was clothed with linen, with a writer's inkhorn by his side. And they went in and stood beside the brazen altar. And the glory of the Elohim of Israel was gone up from the cherub, whereupon he was, to the threshold of the house. And he called to the man clothed with linen, which had the writer's inkhorn by his side. And Yahweh said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And to the others he said in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city, and smite. Let not your eye spare, neither have ye pity. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children, and women. But come not near any upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. And he said unto them, defile the house, and fill the courts with the slain. Go ye forth. And they went forth and slew in the city. Here you have Jerusalem, the capital city of the nation of Israel, of the chosen people. And in that city, he said to the person that was clothed in linen. Now, I want to just make a point here. The people that were clothed in linen in the Torah were the priests clothed in linen. Is that correct? You understand? The priests were clothed in linen garments. So this man represented a priesthood, a heavenly priesthood. Let me ask you all a question. Represents the heavenly priesthood to you and me right now. Who represents the heavenly priesthood clothed in linen? Who is that? That represents, that's right, Yahushua Mashiach, the Messiah, represents the heavenly priesthood. So he has this priest, and he says to them, I want you to set a mark on the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry. I want you to notice, he said the men. What happened to the women? If there were women with them, they would be okay. The women that weren't with them, they would have a problem. Just like the 144,000. They're all men, but there's going to be women with them. The women that are with them, they're going to be okay. The women that are not, they're going to have a problem. Did you understand that so far? Because the Bible doesn't count women. Why not? Let me tell you plainly and straight for those on YouTube land. Adam was made in the image of Yah. The woman was made in the image of Adam. Adam represents Yah. The woman represents the man. That's why he doesn't count women. Do you understand what I just said? Because many people have, in these modern churches talk about sexism and all. Listen here. It is what it is, man. Either you with it or you're not. You don't have to be. You understand? Either you with it or you not. I'm not going to make no excuse for the Most High. You don't need me to make an excuse for him. It is what it is. The woman was made in the image of the man. The man was made in the image of Yah. Huh? That's just how it is. Okay? That's just how it is, man. You can call it sexism. You can call whatever you want to call it, you call it that. But I'm just talking to people that want the word of the Most High. See, it's not for me. I don't need to make no excuse for the Most High, Yah. He has what he has. He does what he does. Okay? I'm trying to find that scripture as I'm talking to you, but he has what he has. He does what he does. He doesn't need me to make any excuse for him. Okay? The woman was made in the image of the man. That's why he does not count women. He counts the men. Okay? Counts the men. I'm looking for that. Anyway, that is the truth of the Most High. In fact, I'm going to give you the scripture because I'm not going to leave until I get you the scripture. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. I'm going to find the scripture for you. Yes. 1 Corinthians chapter 11. 1 Corinthians chapter 11. Let me make sure I get this here. 1 Corinthians chapter 11. Yeah, there it is. 1 Corinthians chapter 11. 1 Corinthians chapter 11. I'm going to read from verse 7 down to verse 9. Okay? 1 Corinthians 11 from verse 7 to 9. For a man indeed ought not to cover his head, for as much as he is the image and glory of Yah. But the woman is the glory of the man. For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. Now, see, I just want to make sure there are a lot of women abusers out here. Now, the Bible does not condone the abuse of women, right? It does not condone the abuse of women. So people that use these scriptures to abuse women is not the scripture's fault. It's like people that use the scriptures to say there's no law. It's not the scripture's fault. It's the people that are trying to bring that falsehood's fault. So anyway, he set a mark on the men that sigh and that cry for the abominations. What does that mean? These are people that sought after righteousness. These are people in seeking after righteousness, obedient to his commandments. Does that make sense, brothers and sisters? So they're obedient to his commandments, and the other people were worshiping other gods. Other gods. And we know the Most High Yah definitely spoke many times about that. Did not want you worshiping other gods, did not want me worshiping other gods. Okay? Let's look at another mark. Let's look at another mark. Revelation chapter 7. These are marks of the Most High Yah. Revelation chapter 7. I'm going to read from verse 1 down to verse 3, verse 4, right? Mark in the forehead. Revelation 7, verses 1 to 4. And after these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. We're going to read this many times. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living Elohim. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our Elohim in their foreheads. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. Now, the seal is a mark in the forehead. Ezekiel 9 said a mark in the forehead of those that sign that cry. What is this seal about? We know the seal is by the Holy Ghost. It says, grieve not the Holy Spirit of Yah, whereby ye are sealed unto the day of redemption. That's Ephesians chapter 4. Also, the Bible tells us in Isaiah chapter 8, seal the law among my disciples. Bind up the testimony and seal the law among my disciples. I believe that's chapter 8, verse 16. I believe that's Isaiah 8:16, if I'm not mistaken. Bind up the testimony, seal the law among my disciples. So we're talking about righteousness. We're talking about obedience to his law, right? And we're talking about marks and seals, right? So we are being sealed in obedience to his law by his spirit. Does everybody follow me so far? We are being sealed when marks are placed on us according to our obedience to his law, according to the righteousness that he puts on us by his spirit. Does that make sense so far? So if the Most High Yah is placing marks and seals on people based on obedience to his commandments now, right? And based on his righteousness and his spirit, and the enemy, Asatan means the adversary, the enemy. If the enemy had a seal, what would his seal represent? Well, if Yah's seal represents obedience to his commandments, obviously then the seal of the enemy would represent disobedience to his commandments. Does that make sense, brothers and sisters? I'm trying to break it down as simply as I can by the grace of the Most High. So the seal of the enemy would be disobedience. And if the Most High has repeatedly said in the book of the law, keep my commandments, be obedient to my laws, seal the law among my disciples. If he keeps saying that, then that means the enemy, Satan, would want us to break the commandments, would want to do away with his law. Does that make sense, brothers and sisters? Now, Revelation chapter 13. The main theme of Revelation 13 is worship. It is worship. This is where most people make their mistake. They're looking for RFID chips. They're looking for computers, and they're completely missing the mark, pardon the pun. Because the issue between the dragon and the Most High Yah is over worship. It is over what and who you worship. Because the Most High has repeatedly told his people, keep my commandments. Do not follow any other gods before me. That's the first commandment he said. Don't follow any other gods before me. Keep my commandments. Now, take this with the fact that in this day and age, listen to me carefully, most people, no matter what their religion, think that everybody worships the same God. Is that correct? In this day and age, most people think that everybody worships the same God. Herein lies one of the greatest of deceptions. The Most High has taught his people that there are false gods, that he is the only true God. And if you're going to worship Yah, you're going to keep his commandments, statutes, and judgments. You're going to obey his word. But the dragon wants people to worship him. And he taught his first discourse in his school of religion in the Garden of Eden. He taught his first lesson in his theology in the Garden of Eden. He taught it to our mother, Eve. What did he teach her? Which teaching he is still teaching today. What did he teach her that she followed? Genesis chapter 3. Genesis chapter 3. Very famous chapter, very popular chapter. Many people have read it and misunderstood it. But let's take a shot by the grace of the Most High. From verse 1 to verse 5. Genesis 3, 1 to 5. Notice what it says. Most High Yah, guide us through your holy and righteous word. In the name of Yahweh Shai Mashiach, we pray. Amen. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yahweh Most High had made. And he said unto the woman, hath not the Most High said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, the Most High have said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, listen, ye shall not surely die. For the Most High doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as the Most High, knowing good and evil. Ye shall be as the Most High, knowing good and evil. Of course, she took the fruit. So the first religious discourse that the enemy gave on planet Earth had 2 points to it. Ye shall not surely die, and you can be as the Most High. Right? Everybody see that? I mean, did I make that up, or is it right there in black and white? Do you see it right there? I want to make sure. So the 2 points he brought out are, you will never die, and you will be like the Most High. Which 2 doctrines the world has readily accepted. People think that no matter what, either you're going to live forever in hell, or you're going to live forever in heaven, or you're going to live forever in the universe somewhere. Most people think that. It's a lie. You will cease to exist if the Most High does not give you eternal life. You will come into non-existence. You will be non-plus entity. But most people don't believe that. Number 2, everybody wants to be a star. And so everybody wants to be like the Most High in their own little universe. So, notice Revelation chapter 12. Revelation chapter 12. Revelation 12 and verse 9. Revelation 12 and verse 9. Then we're going to go chapter 13. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Now, we saw the 2 points of doctrine he brought to our mother Eve. And here it tells us he deceiveth the whole world. It can be safely understood that he's deceiving the world in these 2 points. He's got the world believing that everybody worships the same God and that they'll never die. And then he's got the world believing that everybody can be a star. Isn't that correct? Everybody can be a star, which is another way of saying you can be as the Most High. Okay? He deceiveth the whole world. Now, chapter 13. The dragon is Satan. And let's just look at certain verses. Chapter 13. Going to read verse 4. Notice verse 4. Watch it carefully. And they did what? Revelation 13:4. And they worshipped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. Watch carefully. And they worshipped the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? So there's worship going on here. Worship, that is religion. Are you following? There's worship going on. There's a religion going on here. But it's not to the Most High Yah. It's to false gods, the beast and the dragon. And the whole world is following. these false gods, because everybody thinks, no matter if you're Pentecostal, if you're Catholic or Baptist or SDA or Lutheran, you all worshiping the same God. Jehovah Witness, you all worshiping the same God. If you're Muslim, whether you're Sunni or what's the other one? Sunni Muslim or I forgot the other one, or Nation of Islam, you worshiping the same God. Or if you Buddhist or Hindu, you worshiping the same God. Taoist, same God. This is a lie. They're not worshiping the Most High Yah. The people that follow the commandments of Yah and keep his word and wear his righteousness are worshiping Yah. Everybody else is worshiping the devil, a false God. So in a way, I guess they are worshiping the same God. It's the devil dressed up in different ways. And it's about worship. Wait a minute. Revelation 13, we're just kind of briefly touching on this. Just want to bring out this point. Revelation 13 and verse 8. Notice what it says. Revelation 13 and verse 8. All that dwell upon the earth shall do what? Shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. There it is again. In 2 verses, we've seen the word worship 3 times. And we're not finished. So wait. The mark of the beast is about worship. Who and what you're worshiping. And you can know right now, it goes against the commandments of Yah and against his word. And you have religions, Christian religions teaching there's no law. Doing against his word. Eating pork, meat, and blood, all kind of foolishness, and telling you everything is clean. Going against his word. Okay? Against his commandments. They're worshiping another God. Now, just a few minutes ago, if you recall, we read Ezekiel chapter 9. And just a few minutes ago, we read how the Most High had a man in linen putting a mark on his people. A priest representing Messiah, Yahweh Shai. And the mark he's going to put is on 144,000. It's the seal. But let me ask you a question. What became of the rest of the people? What became of the people that didn't have the priest's mark on them? You remember Ezekiel 9 we just read a few minutes ago? What happened to the rest of the people that didn't have the mark on them? The linen man's mark wasn't on them. What happened to them? Remember what he said? Go through the city and smite. Let not your eye spare, neither have ye pity. You see, brothers and sisters, when you keep in the commandments of Yah, you're going to receive his mark. When you're not, you're going to receive the beast mark. And you're going to worship the image. You're going to. Some people will stand there and defiantly say, not me, I'll never do it. Let me tell you something. There are many people on the earth that are going to find out too late. Listen carefully now. Make sure you hear me. Testing 1, 2, 3. Right? Okay, you got me? There are many people on planet Earth that are going to find out too late that the war that is going on of the spirit is more powerful than the war of the flesh. And that the war of the spirit is so strong that if you're not completely sealed by the spirit of Yah, you will run to the mark of the beast and you will beg to have it in your forehead, in your hand. You will love to worship what the devil will have you worship. You will want it so. That's how powerful the spiritual war is. You might have it set in your mind, you're not going to do it. But if you don't keep commandments and keep faith with the Most High Yah in spirit and in truth, if you don't keep his commandments, statutes, and judgments, if you are not covered in his righteousness, I am telling you, you're not only going to beg for the mark of the beast, you're going to be begging for the blood of those that are worshiping the Most High Yah. I know it sounds unbelievable, but let me ask you, do you think Peter planned on denying Messiah 3 times that night? Do you think that was his plan? Even though Messiah told him, you're going to do it. You think it was his plan? He said, no, I'm going to die with you. But you see, Peter slept both spiritually and physically. He slept because he didn't realize there was a spiritual war. Messiah told him, watch and pray. The spirit is truly willing, but the flesh is weak. Watch and pray. Told him, but they was all sleeping. And that spiritual war had that boy standing up cursing and swearing and denying that he knew Messiah. And Peter repented of his sin. When this mark of the beast comes, ain't gonna be no repentance. Once you make that move, it's final. Revelation 13. Watch this. We ain't finished with that worship thing. Watch this. Revelation 13, verse 15 and 16. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. See? Worship. It's about work. It ain't no RFID chip. It ain't no computer. It's about worship. How are they going to know who you worship? You're going to have to declare it. You're going to have to declare it. You're going to have to declare who you worship and what you worship. You see, brothers and sisters, you're going to have to declare it because there's so much quote unquote terrorism out here. In order to protect everybody, you're not going to be permitted to be involved in any of these terrorist cults. Does that make sense, brothers and sisters? It's gonna get so scary out here. They're gonna make sure nobody's involved with any of these terrorist cults. So if you are named as a terrorist cult, you're gonna have a problem with the people of the earth here. If you are in with one of the accepted practices of religion, you have no problem. Not with these people. You're gonna have a problem with the Most High, but you're not gonna have any problem. So in other words, what are the accepted religions? Any established Christian religion. Established, I say, any established Christian religion. You pick your name, you pick. You know, you could be Lutheran or Pentecostal or Baptist. You can be Mormon or SDA. Don't matter. They don't care as long as you're in one of the Christian churches. Well, wait a minute. What if I don't want to be a Christian? No problem. You got to be in one of the accepted synagogues or mosques. And there are imams that are accepted. And you'll be in one of those, you're fine. If you're not one of those, you might be in one of the cults. What about if I don't want to be that? No problem. You want to be a Buddhist? No problem. A Hindu? You're good. But if you're in none of these, and you're talking about you worshiping out the Bible, and you're talking about you don't belong to a church, and you're talking about you don't have an organized religion, you might be an evil terrorist. You might be a sexually perverted religious fanatic. You might be dangerous. You mean you believe the Bible is literal? You might be dangerous. I suggest you join the church, they will say. I suggest you join one of the established religions. But you say no? Keeping the commandments of you. Who? Yah? And you believe the Bible is literal? Like all these things really happened? Oh, you're dangerous. Oh, you're scary. You're dangerous. Brothers and sisters, I know it sounds unbelievable. I know it does. But you see, it wouldn't be prophecy. and it's not for, look, go back. Let's go back to the Deuteronomy chapter 13. Okay, let's go back. Now, remember, Deuteronomy is a conversation between the Most High and the children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. If you keep studying the Bible, you will understand that the entire Bible is a conversation. I'm gonna get ready to say something. The entire Bible is a conversation between the Most High and the children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Well, ultimately the children of Adam, but they come through Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and it is in Isaac that he said thy seed is called. So ultimately, it's always about that. And so he's always talking to his people. And so the book of Revelation is not for everybody. He said it's for his servants, to show his servants things which must shortly come to pass. It's not for everybody. So we're not looking for everybody to believe what we're saying. As a matter of fact, we don't care if everybody don't believe. But what we do care about, is bringing the truth as the Most High Yah Spirit bring it to us, and encouraging and strengthening the brethren that are also seeking the truth. That's what we greatly care about, because we want to strengthen the brethren. We want to strengthen the brothers and sisters, the Ak and Akas. We want to strengthen them so that they are encouraged, that they can see what's getting ready to happen and not be surprised, because that's what's coming. They're going to suggest very strongly that you not be one of these independent religious cultish fanatics, that you turn away from these beliefs where you think the Bible is literal, and that you join one of the established churches, one of the established religions. There's plenty of them. You know, they got you covered from Buddhism, Hinduism, Taoism. Which one you want? Islam, Christianity, they got it all covered. See? That's what it's coming down to. That is why I say Revelation 13 is type of mark of the beast, because it's showing us people that have dreams. Now, let me talk here. Brothers and sisters here. The Most High does give his people dreams, right? He has shown us he gave Jacob a dream, didn't he? He gave Jacob a dream. He gave Joseph a dream. Yes, he gave Joseph a dream. He gave Peter a dream. Did he not? Gave Peter a dream. He gave Ananias a vision dream. He's done it many times. His prophets give visions and dreams, no question. But false prophets give visions and dreams also. False prophets get them too. Okay, then. If a false prophet has a dream and a true prophet has a dream, how do you know who's telling the truth? Suppose the false prophet's dream, they tell you the dream and it comes to pass exactly as they dreamt it. Does that mean that they're of the Most High Yah? I mean, how would you know in that case if they're of the Most High Yah or not? Deuteronomy 13 tells us. Deuteronomy 13 lets us know. Notice what this is now. This is the instruction given to the children of Israel as they're going into the promised land. Deuteronomy chapter 13. Notice what it said. I'm going to begin at verse 1 and go down to verse 4. Watch what it said. If there arise among you, that is among your people, Israel, a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and giveth thee a sign or a wonder, watch closely, and the sign or the wonder come to pass, whereof he spake unto thee, saying, let us go after other gods, which thou hast not known, and let us serve them. Thou shalt not hearken unto the words of that prophet or that dreamer of dreams. For Yahweh, your Elohim, proveth you to know whether ye love Yahweh, your Elohim, with all your heart and with all your soul. Ye shall walk after Yahweh, your Elohim, and fear him, and keep his commandments, and obey his voice, and ye shall serve him and cleave unto him. Did you notice how he said, you're going to serve him with all your heart and fear him, right? And you're going to do that by keeping his commandments. Okay, so whoever has a dream, you know, if they have a dream or a vision, and the thing come to pass, and they tell you, you know, this is what I saw about you, sister. This is what I saw about you, brother, and it comes to pass. But they start disobeying the commandments of Yah. The Most High has given that person to test you. He has caused that person to come to you to test you, to see whether you're really going to be obedient to him. You see, he's saying, even if somebody has a dream and the dream come to pass, if they're leading you away from the covenant of Yah, you leave that person. Are you following me? Testing 1, 2, 3. Again, illustrating to us that his word is supreme above all things, above visions, above dreams, above mother, above father, above husband, wife, children, cousins, friends, anything. His word is supreme above all to the child that belongs to his nation. You follow me? Okay. His word is supreme above all. Now listen, let me just break this down for all. Okay. His word is supreme above any prophet, any so-called prophet. His word is supreme above Elijah Muhammad. His word is supreme above Marcus Garvey. His word is supreme above Malcolm X. His word is supreme above Ellen White. His word is supreme above Joseph Smith. Are you hearing me? His word is supreme above all. I don't care who they are. His word is supreme above Watchtower. His word is supreme above the Pope, the president, any king on the earth. His word is supreme. Now, let me tell you something. Of all I just said, I just named one thing among them that somebody on the earth is going to give into above his word. Okay? But not his true children. His true children will cleave to his word above all. And that's why there's only 144,000 men that are going to be called into that service. Because you say, well, why he being so selective, only 144,000? It's not that. It's not that. That's all that care. Most people don't care that much about his word. Most people got some sort of agenda or another. Most people desire their own fleshly desires above his word. Most people have something, money, power, sex, attention. They want to be the most high. Most people in their own little sphere of world, they want to be the most high. And so most people have some other agenda, tradition, something above the word of the most high. And that's why it's only 144,000. It's not like, it's like, why, you see people say, I've heard people say, why he always choose Peter, James, and John? Why Messiah always carry Peter, James, and John with him everywhere? You know why? Because those three clung the closest to him. That's why. It wasn't like he just said, I'm going to pick you three as my favorites. These three clung to him. Like the others say, well, let me go do this. Let me go do that. He said, no. These three said, no. I'm going to stick like glue to this brother right here. Here's Mashiach. This is Mashiach. Yahushua of Nazareth is Mashiach. I'm staying with him. That's why he had them by him all the time. People always think of it, they think like the Most High being selective. 144,000, why? What happened to the rest of the people? The rest of people don't give a crap. That's the truth about it. Most people don't care. Let me ask you a question, brothers and sisters. Please, this is a rhetorical question, but really, listen. How many people have you ever met in your life, really, that will strictly go by the Most High's word, that don't make any plans unless it's by his design, that don't care about whatever happens as long as for his honor and glory? How many people have you actually met like that? Really, I mean, how many have you actually met that really are just completely sold out to the will of the Most High? Like they don't care what else happens. Like they just want to follow him only. I can guarantee you, you might be able to count them on one hand. You might, if you live long enough, you might be able to count them on one hand. There's a lot of people that go to church though, right? There's a lot of people that go to church though, right? But there's not a lot of people like that. See what I'm saying? See? So that's what I mean. And let me tell you something. As we're getting closer to the return of Messiah, it's getting fewer. It's not going to be more people. It's going to be less. It's going to be less. Right now, 144,000 are out in the earth right now. They're out here. They're out in the earth, spread all over. And he's developing them to bring them forth in the right time. Okay? And people don't want to believe that because they can see the landscape and they can see ain't nothing out here that's worthy of 144,000. See? Because that's how few it is that really care. And this is the thing. You could tell, like, how, if you just, if you look in the Bible and you see the character of the 144,000 and you desire that character, they follow the Lamb whithersoever he goes. There's no guile in their mouth, right? They are without fault before the throne of Yah. They have the seal of his law and righteousness in their forehead. They seek in his spirit. You know, anybody can do it. Isn't that free for everybody to do it? Can't anybody do that wants to? Like anybody that can read that, can't they just decide, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna dedicate myself to following this word? Anybody could do that, but most people don't. What most people do, they read a piece of the Bible apart and they think they're teaching something. Or they read a piece of the Bible apart and they follow man's tradition. Or they read a piece of the Bible or they part and they try to make money off it, to get followers, to make disciples after themselves. That's what most people do. The world is full of people like that. And there's more every day that's come. Every day. Okay? Very few people are willing to forsake all for his word. And you know what? Whether you say you are or you not, this is the thing that I always believe and I say. We're going to see. You know what I'm saying? We're going to see. We're going to see. Because all people on the earth, from Revelation 13, all people on earth are going to be brought to the test, man. Everybody's going to be brought to the test. Every person. And the majority of people are going to go with the flow. They're going to go with the program without asking any questions. Then there's others that you would have thought would stand. They're going to make excuses why they couldn't stand. They're going to make excuses. Stuff they could lay on Dr. Phil Oprah's couch. They're going to make excuses why they couldn't stand. And it ain't going to be bought by the Most High. Very few going to stand for the truth. And let me tell you why. It takes a preparation. It takes a preparation to stand. You got to be prepared. And the preparation is a daily thing. It's not like you can't all of a sudden, when that time comes, decide at that moment that you just want to take the stand for the truth. It's not going to happen like that. You have to stand day by day. You have to pray day by day, repent day by day, seek the Spirit day by day. You have to meditate on his word day by day. And slowly he builds you up in his grace. Slowly he builds you up in his righteousness. Slowly builds you up. And then the day will come when you're tested and you'll surprise yourself to how you stand strong, because he's been building you up little by little, day by day, month by month, year by year, decade after decade, until you're ready. You're not going to know you're ready. He's going to know you're ready. Okay? It's just like Moses. Moses thought he was ready when he was 40 years old. He turned 40 and thought it was time. And he killed the Egyptian and he realized it wasn't time and he wasn't ready. And he ran out of the country, escaped for his life, right? And for 40 years, he tended sheep. And one day, Most High appeared to him and said he was ready. And he said, what? Send somebody else. Because he didn't even think he was ready. Send somebody else. Not me. Send somebody else. Right? See, thus it will be with the 144,000. See, brothers and sisters, we have to be so focused on receiving righteousness, so focused on bringing honor and glory to our Father, that we're not going to declare ourselves ready. He's going to let us know we're ready. In fact, we're going to think we're not ready. Okay? But we have to continue seeking his face, continue seeking his righteousness, continue surrendering to him every single day, continuing eating his word, knowing his word, learning his word, praying over it, meditating on it. And you're going to be tested. Your patience, we talked about this last week, your patience, my patience is going to be tested. You're going to be humble. You got to be humble. I got to be humble. Because we got to be humble servants of the Most High. And he's going to keep us humble. That's why I say we're not going to get a lot of money. It's not going to be about a lot of money, brothers and sisters. It's not going to be about that. It's going to be about a lot of faith, a lot of Holy Ghost power, a lot of spirit, a lot of righteousness. That's what it's going to be a lot. Forget the money. Them Federal Reserve notes, we're not going to get a lot of them. Not for us. It's for those that are with the Federal Reserve. That's all right. We're going to keep the commandments of Yah, though. Okay? So here he said, if somebody even come to you with a dream And brothers and sisters, we've been already having dreams. My wife and I have been led by dreams for decades. And we've met people that had dreams and the dreams have come to pass for sure. Okay? And we know. And some of you have had dreams and the dreams have come to pass. So the dreams are important now. But the test of the dream and the dreamer, are they keeping the commandments of Yah? See, if they up here swine and pork eating and they talking about they've been given the gift of prophecy, they lying to themselves and they lying to you. And I've heard people do that. Pork eating, swine eating, Sunday keeping, talking about they got the gift of prophecy. See what I'm saying? They might be getting something, but it ain't from the Most High Yah. If they get anything from the Most High Yah, He gonna tell them, drop all that foolishness and keep my commandments and live. That's what He's trying to tell them. If they getting anything but that, they getting deceived. Okay? Deuteronomy chapter 13. Now he's talking about them being in the land. How are they going to handle this false prophet that tells them dreams and say, let's worship other gods? From verse 5 down to verse 9. Notice what it said. Deuteronomy 13, 5 to 9. Notice what it said. And that prophet or that dreamer of dreams shall be put to death, because he has spoken to turn you away from Yahweh your Elohim, which brought you out of the land of Egypt and redeemed you out of the house of bondage, to thrust thee out of the way which Yahweh thy Elohim commanded thee to walk in. So shalt thou put the evil away from the midst of thee. If thy brother, the son of thy mother, or the son of thy son, or thy daughter, or the wife of thy bosom, or thy friend, which is thine own as thine own soul, entice thee secretly, saying, let us go and serve other gods, which thou hast not known, thou nor thy fathers, namely of the gods of the people which are round about you, nigh unto thee, or far off from thee, from the one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth, thou shalt not consent unto him, nor hearken unto him, neither shall thine eye pity him, neither shalt thou spare, neither shalt thou conceal him, but thou shalt surely kill him. Thy hand shall be first upon him to put him to death, and afterwards the hand of all the people. See how important this is? Now look, see how important this is? Now, we're not supposed to be putting anybody to death. We're not in the land. We're not in the land. We not in the land. So we're not putting nobody to death. But it just goes to show how the Most High feels about people that worship other gods and lead his people to worship other gods. Do you see how he feels about that? Do you think he takes that kind of seriously? I mean, do you think he means business here? I mean, he said, no son nor daughter. And didn't Messiah say, he that cometh to me and hate not his son, his wife, his mother, even his own soul, I mean, more than me is not worthy of me. Didn't he say that? Same thing. Same thing. Same thing. They want exclusive. They want, complete loyalty. Most High does not want our loyalty divided. He wants complete loyalty. And this is the thing, brothers and sisters. This is why I don't believe in having a church like the way the Christians have churches. I don't want your money. Okay? I don't want your money. I want you to study the word. See, I don't want to be one of these cults. You understand? Nobody gonna force anybody over here. You understand? You got to decide for yourself whether you want to follow the word of the Most High Yah. Whether you by yourself in the midst of 1 million people, or whether you with people that believe as you believe or not. Right? He didn't say, you're supposed to only follow my word when you with people that believe as you believe. He didn't say that. It doesn't matter if you by yourself or if you got 100 people. It doesn't matter. Keep his word. Regardless. And I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, and I can tell it to our blue in the face, Most people ain't gonna do this. Most people is not going to do that. A lot of people talk a good game. You know, either they in some camp. You see, people try to get in groups and think they strong. Listen here. If you ain't in the spirit, I don't care how big your group is, you ain't strong enough. Huh? I mean, Israel had 1 million people coming across that desert, and many millions more because they were in the land for many centuries, almost over 1,000 years. And they got spanked and whipped and scattered because they refused to keep the commandments of Yah, and they rejected Mashiach Yahushua. So look, these camps, these churches, nothing but modern day gangs. That's all they are. Okay? Good to have people to fellowship with you. It's beautiful. But we living in a day and age when there's just not going to be that many. Just not. That's why it's called, the woman had what? A remnant that's left. The dragon went to make war with the seed of the woman, the remnant of her seed, that which is left. Okay? Not going to be that many. And I'm going to tell you something. Not going to be easy. Now, the Most High promised to give us power. And I'm a witness. He does give us power of his spirit to be obedient. He don't just leave us out there in our own strength now. I mean, that's what grace, and that's what, we talk about righteousness by faith. That's what it's all about. It's about him giving us power to stand. He's not just leaving us without strength, right? He's not doing that. He's giving us the strength now. Yeah, he's going to give us his righteousness. He's going to forgive us our sin. He's going to cover us with the blood of Mashiach Yahushua. He's going to give us the power. But we got to make the choice. You understand? We got to make the choice to decide whether we're going to stand. No prophet needed to stand without the power of the Most High standing with him. They always endowed with the power of his spirit. And we know different. He's going to bless us with his spirit too. But you may not have any other human person with you. Okay, you may be by yourself as far as human beings. And you remember what the Most High Messiah told, what the Messiah told his disciples. He said, you're going to leave me alone, but I'm not alone because my Father's with me. He knows he's always with me. See, he said, you think you're going to leave me alone? You're not leaving me alone. My Father's with me. That's the way we got to be. Okay, we have to. You have to be so used to the spirit walking with you that you're not worried about whether other people there. Matter of fact, other people might disturb your peace, but you all right with it because you got to work. You got to witness to them. You understand? You hear what I'm saying? You got to be walking with the spirit in such a way that you just enjoying that peace with the spirit. You just enjoying that quietness when the spirit talking to you, and you can talk to and then the word of the Most High is talking to you. You got to get to that point, brothers and sisters, and all of us will, if we're faithful. All of us will. The Most High will bring us there. He will bring us there. We just have to be faithful and work with him on this thing. Okay? He has promised to bring us there. Okay? Notice again. Deuteronomy 13. From verse 10. From verse 10. I'm going to read down to verse 15. And thou shalt stone him, the same person that told you worship of God, thou shalt stone him with stones that he die, because he hath sought to thrust thee away from Yahweh thy Elohim, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage. And all Israel shall hear and fear, and shall do no more any such wickedness as this among you. If thou shalt hear say in one of thy cities, which Yahweh thy Elohim have given thee to dwell there, saying, certain men, the children of Belial, are gone out from among you, and have withdrawn the inhabitants of their city, saying, let us go and serve other gods, which ye have not known. Then shalt thou inquire and make search, and ask diligently. And behold, if it be truth, and the thing certain, that such abomination is wrought among you, thou shalt surely smite the inhabitants of that city with the edge of the sword, destroying it utterly, and all that is therein, and the cattle thereof, with the edge of the sword. He's not playing, man. See, people will listen to this and think it's crazy. You know why? Because there's some fools out here that will be in the United States of America and will try to kill other people that worship different than them. And this ain't what it's saying. This is when we're in the land. We're not in the land, right? We're not in the land. There's some fools out here that'll act like they need to force you to worship their way. We're not in the land. We're under the time of grace right now. You could choose for yourself who you gonna worship, right now. But there's consequences. As we read in Revelation 13 and Ezekiel 9, there's consequences. Okay, there is. But not from man. It's from the Most High. It's from the Most High, yeah. Okay, but we see here in Deuteronomy 13 and in Revelation 13 how serious this situation is. This situation with regard to worship. Okay, all these Christian churches worshiping different gods. Okay, there's no 501c3 in the Bible. Have you ever read of a 501c3 in the Bible? Is there any such thing in the scriptures? No, there's not. Therefore, all of these 501c3 corporations are not the Most High's people. They are not. Okay, they're just not. Has the Most High ever said, I want you to form an organization called Baptist? Is that in the scriptures? I want you to form an organization called Lutheran. I want you to form an organization called SDA, Mormon, Jehovah's Witness. Is that in the scriptures? Is it anywhere in there where he says, I want you to form these organizations as my people? No, it's not in there. It's not in there. His people are scattered. They're not forming any of these organizations. Because why? Because there's only one nation. It's Israel. And all the Israelites are under the covenant. And again, we talk about marriage. That's why in the Israelite marriage, you don't see no wedding vows. In the Bible, there's no wedding vows. Why? Why isn't there any wedding vows? Because when they talk about marriage in the Bible, it's always regarding two Israelites coming together. And two Israelites coming together are under the bond of the covenant. They're under the bond of the covenant. Okay. Otherwise, they're not a nation, right? So if they're of the nation, they're under the bond of the covenant. That's the vow right there. You follow what I'm saying? That is the vow that I'm going to serve the Most High Yah. I'm going to keep his commandments, statutes, and judgments. All that he said I'm going to do. Praise the Most High Yah. That's the covenant. Okay. There you go. And he tells the woman, this man is supposed to feed you, clothe you, provide you children. And he tells the man, this is your wife. You're supposed to feed her, clothe her, provide her children. He says that in the scripture. That's the agreement you have. And you're going to keep the commandments of Yah. That's right. And just in case you didn't understand it, the Bible goes into detail about husband and wife, how they're supposed to love each other, how they're supposed to respect each other. Husband's supposed to treat the wife the way Christ treat the Messiah treat his nation, love his nation, gave himself for his nation, build up his nation, guide his nation. And the nation's supposed to be faithful to the Most High Yah. Faithful. The woman's supposed to be faithful to her husband. No other husbands, no other gods. Faithful to one, no even one another one, right? That's it. See, that's why there's no vows. There's no wedding vows in the Bible. That came from the Catholic Church and Christianity. They made up their own vows. That's how you get making up your own vows. Ain't but one vow for the Most High Yah's people. Obedience to his commandments, obedience to his covenant. See? Under the bond of the covenant. That's the bond that we under. That's the vow. Praise the Most High. All that Yahweh have said, we will do and be obedient. Praise the Most High, Yah. Praise the Most High. Everything falls into place perfectly when the two people are bound like that. They don't have to worry. Everything falls into place. When he wants to love his wife the way Messiah loved the church, when she wants to respect and honor her husband, where she should respect and honor Most High, everything falls into place that way. It does. Falls right into place. It's when we start having our own way. We start turning away from the Most High's word that we have a problem. Very hard to find two people that follow the word like that. Very difficult. Very difficult. That's why some of y'all by yourself. Because there ain't that many people out here that want to do that. Not that many. Everybody wants to be their own God. Right? Everybody wants to be the Most High. Everybody think they're going to live forever and want to be the Most High. That's how it goes. Let's finish the chapter. Deuteronomy chapter 13, verses 16 to 18. And thou shalt gather all the spoil of it. Wait, he's talking about the city they just destroyed. because they worship the other God that's in Israel, right? And thou shalt gather all the spoil of it into the midst of the street thereof. Watch this. And shalt burn with fire the city and all the spoil thereof, every whit. And it shall be in heap forever, shall not be built again. And there shall cleave not of the accursed thing to thy hand, that Yahweh may turn from the fierceness of his anger and show thee mercy, and have compassion upon thee, and multiply thee as he has sworn to thy fathers. When thou shalt hearken unto the voice of Yahweh thy Elohim, to keep all his commandments, which I command thee this day, to do that which is right in the eyes of Yahweh thy Elohim. There you go. He said, don't even want their money. He said, when you kill and destroy everything, don't even want anything that's there. Just burn the whole thing. It's cursed. You see, you can't, there's people in this earth that can buy their way into a lot of places. They could buy their way in and out of a lot of places on this earth, man. But money buys a lot of friends and a lot perverts a lot of judgment. But with the Most High, it ain't gonna help you. All the money in the world ain't gonna help you with the Most High. It's not gonna help. Can't do nothing for it. See, can't all the gold, silver, Federal Reserve notes in the world can't do nothing for you with the Most High. Can't help you. Can't help. Praise the Most High, yeah. So that was chapter 13. We are going to now, tomorrow morning, by the grace of the Most High, I'm going to go into chapter 14. Chapter 14 is powerful. It goes into the diet. We're going to talk about the diet tomorrow, the health and the diet. We talked a little bit about that the other day. We're going to talk about that again. It's going to talk about tithing. Chapter 14 of Deuteronomy talks about tithing. I'm going to read about that tomorrow by the grace of the Most High. Let's have a word of prayer as we close.